Paul in OBS, or not in OBS, in Discord. Make sure he's ready to go. Give him the triple check. Make super sure. He says he is. Let's give him a call. Start a video call. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, man?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm good.
Nice.
I'm good. I can't see you. Is your thing working?
Hold on. Let me make sure that my. Ooh. All right. The stream can see you.
Okay.
I wonder why you can't see me.
It's probably because your camera's on an OBS or something.
Oh, maybe that could be it. Well, hey man, how's it
It
going?
doesn't really
Nice
matter.
username.
It's good.
Absolute legend that you are. What are you doing here? What are you talking to me for? Come on, dude. You can do better than this.
I mean, you tell me, man. What's going on?
This is it. We've been throwing this idea around for like a really long time here, getting this interview talk thing or whatever. I don't know what you call these. I call them conversations, the Cyan Chill Chats of the world, talking about
That's
getting stuff on the go.
That's accurate, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's a good name. And yeah, I mean, you've been doing like a ton of interviews too. You're really invading
Yeah, a
the
little bit
space
lately.
with a whole bunch of good content, long form style like that. So it's a good time to bring you on. It's a good time for us to both mutually just complain about our lives as up and coming StarCraft 2 content creators, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Hell yeah, man. So how you doing? Let's enter with the small talk because that's how you're supposed to break
Let's
the
see.
ice
This
and stuff.
weekend I went to New York City, like Manhattan, which is a really, really crowded, popular place. So,
Oh,
it was fun. I mean, I didn't really do anything too special. I got really drunk and I got sick. You know how it goes.
hell yeah. Was you out for any particular reason or just to make the trip?
I was hanging out with some friends I met on a trip to Israel, which I did
Oh,
in
really?
March. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. That's super cool.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
cool
it's
that
kind of
you
random.
it's cool that you did the trip, and it's cool that you met people on the trip that you would hang out with back home. That's
Yeah, they live close enough. I live like near Philadelphia, so Philadelphia to New York is not that far.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
So
man. What'd you do this weekend?
this weekend, damn, today's Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't think I did anything at all. I don't know.
Nothing.
No, I'll probably run out after this and grab an energy drink and wait until I stayed up all night to watch GSL. That was my big thing that I did this
I
weekend.
just finished watching the VOD actually because I wasn't around. I was in New York, like I
What
said.
did you think? I thought it like
Dude,
kind of anticlimactic
he
almost.
proxied like what 6 or 7 games or something.
It was at least 5 of 7 games for
It's
sure.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's
it's
crazy.
insane. I can't like. I think it's better. I think it's personally better that Maru won headed into BlizzCon. I think that
Is
that's a
that who
better
you wanted to
situation.
win? Did you feel really
Eh,
strongly either way?
I mean, I kind of could go either way. Like, I like TY, and I like mixing up the storylines or what have you because it's just I feel like that's a little healthy at some point.
Sure.
But I also really like the Maru three-peat GSL 1-year winner headed into BlizzCon. And now, like, if Cyril had
Yeah.
lost in Montreal, then maybe I'd kind of be whatever on it. But with Cyril winning all the circuit events and Maru winning all the GSL events, like that's going to be a really hype storyline if they actually run into each
Yeah,
other. Who
exactly.
knows?
I don't think it gets much better than that. I prefer that much more than anything else.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it would just be would it be a little anticlimactic for if Maru's going to take a loss? It should be at BlizzCon. It should be in the global finals, I think.
I guess it's just more fun when a player keeps winning and winning and winning because then they just get like more and more scary. Like they look more and more. It seems to be like their matches are more exciting just because like it's like is someone someone actually beat them, and every time someone even takes a game off of them, it's like wow, they're so amazing. So that's kind of fun. I don't know. So yeah, I definitely lean towards it. I liked to see Mara win over Ty. That was cool,
Do you think?
and that's what happened.
I feel like. Do you think Cyril is actually scarier on paper compared to Maru? Because Maru like loses games, and Maru's thing is I'm gonna proxy, and I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
that's easier to figure out than oh god, this guy is just mechanically brilliant. You know?
Kind of. I feel like there have been more times when Maru is just looked like the best player ever.
Mm-hmm.
And Cyril's looked like that for like a whole year now, like this whole year. But I feel like even before this year, Maru has had moments where everyone's like, "Holy shit, he's the best player ever."
Yeah, definitely.
And so I feel like just like Maru has a bit more results behind him, which makes me think he would take Cyril out. But I don't really know. Like it's it's so hard to call. And at the same time, we just saw Cyril beat him like in GSL versus World.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of actually makes me think Cyril can beat him again. Like we just saw it happen, I don't know, 2 months ago, less than 2 months ago.
Best of one, to be fair.
Still, though, like
counts though.
Yeah, I mean, it shows that Maru's not invincible at all.
Yeah. It'll be quite the BlizzCon, man. I really like if the esports gods can align and we have a Maru Cyril finals. Oh, that'll be really tasty. I don't think that it's possible because, of course, it's not because we aren't given these gifts like that. Okay, we're not good enough in this world to be given the right to have Maru versus Cyril in the finals of BlizzCon. One of them will be knocked out in like the round of 32.
Would it surprise you? It wouldn't surprise me at all if it happened.
Nah, it would surprise me a lot because even if they were to meet like on the grand stage, I feel like we'd get cucked by brackets. They'd be on the same side. I know it would have to be.
There would have to be a good amount of luck involved for sure. But
yeah,
I still
exactly.
like if it happened, I wouldn't be like, oh no, that's so crazy. But like, yeah, these are the two top players.
As long as they met, and then whoever won that went on to win the whole thing. That would be a fine storyline for me. I'd be alright with that.
It's pretty poetic.
Definitely. So let's dive in a little bit about you. Screw GSL and Cyril and all that stuff.
Okay.
Let's talk about you.
Well, what do you want to know?
Well, let's. I like interviewing people who are lesser known, perhaps, who don't have 20 or 30 interviews across their esports resume and their history and everything like that. Because they have to ask some really basic questions, like how did you get into StarCraft? How are you finding yourself here right now?
Well, I started playing Brood War like a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I actually.
If I can ask to just prelude, how old are you?
27.
Okay.
I turned 27.
So
like
you would have been pretty young in Brood War.
Yeah, I was like 10 or 11, I think. The game had already been out for a year or two. I think I found Brood War, or maybe Brood War was out, but I only found StarCraft. I don't know. Okay. So I went to the rec center. There was like a gym, and people could work out, but they also had a bunch of PC games set up, almost like it reminds me a bit of like a PC one kind of thing, because you could just go sit down, play games with your friends, and they had an N64 and stuff too, but they had a row of PCs, and people were always playing RTS games. Like I first saw Warcraft 2 over there.
Cool.
And I was like, holy shit, this is really cool. And that was sort of like my first RTS game, Warcraft 2, the BattleNet one. Cool. And a day or two later, I just went back to the gym and just to play games there. And someone was playing StarCraft, and I was just watching him over his shoulder. And I was like, fuck, this game looks really cool. I really want to get it, but I couldn't afford. I'm like 10 or 11 years old, right? So I couldn't buy it. And my parents didn't want to get it for me because they already got me so many other games, I guess. I don't remember. I didn't feel like my parents would get it for me. So I wanted to like, I didn't steal it, but I remember wanting to steal it. Like I wanted it that badly. Back in the day. And then I don't know, eventually, yeah, my parents did buy it for me. I don't remember when I got it, like sometime in 5th grade. So yeah, 10 or 11, that's about right. And I don't know, after that I just played a ton of Brood War, like online, mostly UMS games though. I didn't really play 1v1 until SC2. Then I got really into that.
Sweet. So then StarCraft 2 comes out, but you're not like, were you a content creator doing stuff like from the outside?
Okay, yeah. So like I said, I really like UMS and Brood War, and I don't know. I really liked the map making stuff. Like I didn't really play 1v1 at all. Mm-hmm. Even like the RTS, like I played a bit of campaign, but I would always just cheat and stuff. I never really tried to beat the missions without cheating. Yeah. And so it was all about just like massing units and just having fun with the whatever silly stuff you could do. But I really like the map editor. I made a lot of maps, like a ton of UMS maps. Did you? I don't know how much you played Brood War, but there was like
literally have never played Brood War. Maybe I played a game. I don't know.
You were missing out, man. There was this genre of maps. They're called like bound maps, and they're just sort of like obstacle courses. And it's a very specific kind of UMS map. And there's like Tower D, right? And there were these bound or obstacle course maps. And I made a lot of those, like a lot of those, and anyone could make them. That's what was kind of the appeal. Is like it's really easy to make. A lot of stuff in the Brood War editor is easier compared to the SE2 editor, but because I liked Brood War editor so much, it's why I wanted to get into the SE2 editor and do a lot of stuff. So yeah, I played a lot of Brood War, and then when I was like 15 or 16 in high school, I maybe put it down for a year or two. But I would always play at least a little bit.
It's interesting, like the longevity of that game, and I guess a little bit Warcraft 3 too. I mean, I can't really think of anything else, and maybe it's also a product of like gaming at the time too, right? I mean, it's just odd to think of a game being able to last that long through the gaming industry.
It's just so good, dude. It's like
is that really all it comes down to? That's crazy.
That's what I think. It's so good. There's nothing else that's gonna be as good, right? So I don't know. That's how I feel about it.
Mad respect.
And I mean, dude, I would happily play something else if another game came out, and was better or more interesting. Because like I play, every now and then a good game comes around, I'll play through it for maybe 10 or 20 hours, however long it is. But there's something about these games where it's versus another person, so it's always going to be different, etc.
I mean, like there are other RTSs coming out in that time, though, right? Like I mean, AOE. Subcom, right? Like none of them particularly fancy. It was just StarCraft.
I don't know. They don't stick with me nearly as long. Something about the I really like the art style too, like the space theme and everything is really appeals to me. And yeah, there's probably some nostalgia in there too, right? Because it's been so long that I played Brood War, and now I like reminds me of playing Brood War, doing all that SE2 stuff.
Gotcha. So StarCraft 2 comes out, is released, and everything like that. Sure. Did you want to jump in as a content creator? Like when did you decide? Because you've had such a long,
I can actually answer this. I can actually have a really specific answer for this. I think somewhere when I don't know. There's a few times where I was like, oh, like there's actually people that'll watch. If you post something, like there's a good amount of people that'll click on it, right? It wasn't. And when I figured that out, there was I think it was JP did some like last state of the game or some JP talk show, and he had Day9 and some people there. And at the end, like Day9's laughing and he's like is drinking water and it's coming out of his mouth and he looked really funny. And I made a GIF of that and posted it. And this is the first time I really used Photoshop or anything. I didn't really think about, how to do it properly. I just kind of Googled it and figured it out. And then I don't know. It didn't get a lot of attention, maybe like 200 or 300 upvotes or something, and a bunch of comments. But I realized like it surprised me that anyone replied at all because I thought it was kind of stupid posts. You could probably go find it on I don't know. And somewhere around there, I was like, okay, so that's when I realized you can post almost anything. It doesn't even have to be very interesting. And you can get a bunch of people to click on it and comment and stuff like that. And that's just kind of fun by itself. And then like with YouTube making it so easy to get ad revenue basically, like that's kind of appealing, but I never really consider ad revenue. Like it's not a huge motivational thing for me because I don't like get enough views to really make any significant amount of money, right? But that's like I'm just trying to think of like what things would inspire you to make videos and stuff. So those are two things. And then like when I worked, so I went from posting these GIFs on Reddit, right, just for fun and like to get karma or whatever, and then I started talking to Daniel from SC2HL, the YouTube channel, right?
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm nodding. Yes.
I can't see you.
I just realized.
Your camera, you have no camera on my screen.
DTD.
So, yeah, and we worked together for like 2.5 years because I was like, I would post GIFs of stuff he's posting videos of, and our posts would kind of clash. And we just started talking to each other, and I ended up working with him for like 2.5 years, posting videos on the channel and working with the channel. And eventually, we had like a little falling out. Like I got mad at him, but everything's cool now. But I stopped working with them, and I don't really we used to do like tournament highlights. So it used to be so much different, man. If you wanted to post a tournament highlight or something, like there's a whole channel just out of like highlights, right? Like the Twitch clips thing kind of took over, or there was no clips like Twitch clips, or it was so different posting content just, a few years ago before all this stuff changed. So you could really get more hits and stuff because clips didn't exist. That's the one thing. What else? But I stopped working with them way kind of before that all landed. And then I don't know. I just started making my own videos. Like I like to mess around and be like kind of silly, right? And make like sarcastic videos.
Yeah.
Just because it's fun, dude. Like I think it's funny. I'm gonna try to make videos that make, and if it makes me laugh, usually I know it'll make someone else laugh, and that's kind of all it takes. So I just try to make things that look funny, and it's not much more than that.
Yeah, definitely. You're somebody too who I identify as like coming up, like quote unquote, through StarCraft Reddit. Like you're
for sure.
Main,
yeah. That's my number one source of
viewership.
Yeah, like traffic, viewership. Sorry, I paused because my monitor just shut off because I'm not pushing any buttons. Anyway, so Reddit's my number one. That was pretty much the only place I got traffic for the longest time. I didn't post anywhere else, and then eventually I started posting on Twitter because I realized there's too much like activity. Like everyone's on Twitter posting and stuff. A bunch of things would get linked. A bunch of Twitter posts are always getting linked on Reddit. So I started posting on Twitter more too, and that kind of helps a little bit. And then naturally, by having a YouTube channel and stuff, it kind of grows a life of its own. Like there's a bunch of users on YouTube that only use YouTube, and they're not really looking around on Reddit. So that's a thing too. And those are really the only three places I run around linking my videos and trying to get people to look at them.
It's interesting hearing you talk about Twitter. Like, I don't feel like anything gets linked anywhere from Twitter anymore. I feel like StarCraft Twitter is...
I mean, who are you following, man? It seems active enough for me. It depends. I don't even follow that many people.
Twitter's always going on, but I don't feel like a lot of stuff that could get traction gets any traction.
Well, in general, I feel like SC2 News is kind of slow. That's another thing. Like, I feel like it's easy for me.
Even like meme posts and funny posts, or even statement posts. Like I see other scenes, right? Like I see, and not like huge scenes. Like I see League of Legends post. No. Like the FGC pops up all the time. Like Smash Bros. Tweets all the time. Like I don't know. It's just I envy how easy it seems to get a big Twitter traction going on in these other scenes compared to StarCraft. Really? Yeah, definitely, 100%.
I don't really feel the same. Maybe it's just because I'm not paying attention to these other scenes or anything. But
you could be just better at it than I am too. That's totally
fine. I feel like I don't have an issue when I post. Usually, like if I share a funny video on Twitter, like it usually does okay. You're never gonna get like the ratio of traffic. You never get a lot of traffic on Twitter, even if a lot of people click on it, or you get a lot of likes or whatever, or retweets or anything. It doesn't usually add up to that much unless you're getting a shitload, like 500 or something.
Right.
500. Right. Anyway,
I also I did want to touch on the idea of Reddit back in the day, because StarCraft Reddit.
I was thinking about that.
So fast, it moved like lightning.
When did you? Yeah, because you've been around for a while. Like when did you start following all this stuff and posting on Reddit?
I mean, as a content creator, or just as a dude?
Just in general.
I joined Reddit in large part because of StarCraft, and then a couple of posts that I thought were just cool. But I joined StarCraft Reddit in like 2012.
Okay. But you remember, like around then, there was a lot more activity. Just
crazy. I remember
just much more.
In Heart of the Swarm, like in 2013, I was like getting really, really into it, or I was really, really into it, and you'd have to like. You could check new every hour and then fill 2 pages.
Not even an hour, every like few minutes.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when they were posting like beta keys and stuff like that. It was crazy. And if somebody had a piece of news, it was a race, because it was like a karma race, right? Like if you posted it first, you were going to get a ton of
that
upvotes.
Can still happen. That can still happen if there's news, but yeah. There was just so much more going on, and like so I remember that, and like I don't know, it can be hard to keep things in perspective, because like back then something kind of silly, like I would make a stupid post, like the Day 9 thing that I was talking about in the beginning that I first posted, maybe only get 200 or 300 points on Reddit, but you get like 20,000-30,000 views on it. Whereas today if I post a video that gets like 1,000 points on Reddit, which is, like a lot more, but you only get like, I don't know, 10,000 views or less. So it's just like the ratio of how many people are there versus how many people are actually engaging with it and commenting and liking all the shit. And like that ratio was kind of skewed now, because like I said, there used to just be a lot more lurkers. Like there used to be a lot more people just kind of looking and not really posting or anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it doesn't really, I don't know. It doesn't, this is like everyone knows this, right? It's a kind of like a meme almost. It's a tired conversation in a way, because everyone knows it used to be bigger, blah, blah, blah. But just coming from like a posting videos point of view, it can be hard to think. It's hard to know if you're doing well or not, is what I'm trying to say. Because you just don't know what's good numbers or not, because it's always changing.
I kind of
at least for me, that's how I feel. I feel like other people might have a better idea of how it's going, but for me, I don't know. I'm not really sure if I'm getting a good response or not, especially within the past like couple years.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
maybe the past year or two.
It's fun to reminisce about those old times, I think. Like for me, I remember a period of time where I felt like a known Reddit user who was just a guy, and I felt like there was a group of people who I would see in every thread, and I didn't know them at all, but I mean, that's
still a thing. I still recognize a ton of people's names, just because they're not posting videos and stuff doesn't mean I don't know who they are. Like I see there are people who've been around, like there's a lot of people if you just stick around,
Oh, definitely. It's just, it's like a different time, it's a different vibe. It's so much.
Yeah, if you do, it's fun if I go click on one of my, like if I go sort by the top rated threads I ever posted or something, I look at a really old one, you'll scroll down and you'll see people, you'll remember their names and you'll notice they're not around anymore.
Yeah.
Not there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun.
Kind of some bittersweetness, I guess,
I guess, but like at the same time, we're getting a ton of fucking new players, and like
definitely.
I don't expect everyone to feel the same way I do and love the game forever or whatever.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom in any way.
No, I'm not trying to say you are. It's just like what I think when I think about all this stuff. That's the next thing that comes to mind.
Yeah. So, you were talking about it just a little bit there. Like it's hard to know how your videos are doing in this day and age.
I guess
that was a lot.
It's not impossible, but like sometimes I'll feel like I'll get a really good response on social media, and then it doesn't do as well in terms of viewership, or the opposite. I feel like it'll get a lot of viewership, but it's a bad video or something. And it's just like I don't know. What I'm getting at is more like it's hard to predict if your video is any good or stuff like that. Just like typical, when you post anything, it doesn't have to be a video or it can just be like a link or a bunch of text. You don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's gonna sink or swim, I guess.
Well, I want to talk a little bit specifically about the interviews that you've been doing recently. Actually, you know what? No, that's probably wrong timing. I want to go back to the beginning. I want to go back to you were like a big old fan of some of the bigger StarCraft shows through history, like Unfiltered and I think did you work directly with Remax for highlights? Was that the thing
so
that I remember?
I just started posting because I was a huge fan of Destiny, right? And Destiny was like on Unfiltered, and I started making a few like meme videos or highlight reels of Destiny, saying stupid shit on Unfiltered or just like mashup videos. And I thought, I don't know, people liked it enough where I made 10 or something, because I thought people were enjoying it enough for me to keep doing it. And Chanman, after I did like just 2 or 3 videos, Chanman reached out to me, and I forget what happened, but he ended up paying, like he sent me some Razer gear, like a mouse pad and a mouse.
Cool.
And I actually still use it. And so I worked with Chanman because we would talk a lot actually, and I still talk to him every now and then.
Cool.
Yeah, Chanman's a great guy, and we worked together just like in the sense that he wanted me to keep making these videos because it's just more traffic for him, right? Why not? And I don't think he really paid me more than just a little bit of gear, and I was still happy to do the videos because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, right? I just want to post videos and make people happy or whatever. And that went on, like I said, only for maybe 10 or 11 videos, not a lot. And I don't think if I go back and watch them, I'm like, why did anyone ever click on them? Pretty fucking stupid. but like I said, it was just kind of a different time. A lot of people seem to be watching Unfiltered back then, so I guess there was enough people watching to watch a highlight reel of Unfiltered. Mm-hmm. Destiny was funny and all that.
Yeah. And I noticed the first thing I noticed when you released like your first interview was that your overlay, it's the old, I guess it's like the old Brood War
mission briefing.
Yeah, mission briefing screen, right? And it seems to have space for more people, like 4 or 5 people maybe ish.
Yeah.
I wonder, do you have any aspirations to kickstart into?
There was I mean, I never thought about it that hard. Like if there was a reason to have more than one person, there's room in the overlay. That's just how it turned out, right? That's the art Blizzard made. Yeah. I just kind of jacked their shit and used it for my own. And Blizzard's honestly, they're very cool about that kind of thing. They let everyone use all their assets for creative stuff and post it anywhere and all that. Anyway, so yeah, I used the mission briefing from Terran, and I haven't really made it one for any of the other races. And yeah, people like the overlay. Obviously, the Blizzard, it's right from Blizzard shit, so of course it's gonna look good. And it was, it's fun. I like to make little animations like that where it comes in or whatever. Like I didn't even make the animation. I just used theirs, but I had to cut it all together and kind of Photoshop out some stuff so you can put the text over it. I don't know. It's fun to make stuff like that. And the interviews I'm doing, just like I said, because I don't know, it's fun. I don't really take it too seriously. Like I do when I'm talking to someone I've been lucky enough to have people like In Control say who I don't really know very well and I haven't really talked to, but he was like, yeah, we can chat for an hour and just hang out and I'll answer your questions. And that was really cool, man. Cause like I've been a fan of him, or I don't know, there are a bunch of other like Maynard. I've never really got to just sit and chill and talk to him. And I watch a bunch of his casts. So all the casts have been very cool. Everyone I've had on the show, it's kind of fun to do. After I did just 1 or 2 episodes, I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. I like doing this. So, it's not hard to find people either. There's so many interesting characters in the scene.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. And like, honestly, you're hitting on a bunch of people who I've had on my list for such a long time. It's like it's almost really healthy that there's multiple people trying to do this in the scene. Like, because there's so many people that I feel like are just deserving of an interview.
Well, yeah, they have like an interesting part of the history. Story.
Yeah. Should be included in something more solid, like an interview, right? Just to
yeah. It. Well, I just think they have like they have like content. I guess they have interesting stuff to say that people would like to hear. I don't know. I don't know. Some of the interviews I did, I don't think I did a great job, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, because I don't have no fucking formal training in this stuff. I just dive into it because I thought it'd be cool. I was inspired by people like JP or other people who kind of put out long ass unedited videos of just chatting, really. And I definitely had like In Control, like back to him again. I think I didn't prep enough and I didn't really do great there, but not that it was horrible. Just like I could have done better. If like some of the other ones, we prepared a bit better. Or I prepared a bit better, and they were just like, it felt better, right? So yeah. I feel like I haven't done a perfect job with it at all. I don't think it's amazing. Like they don't do amazing viewership wise. I don't think I'm like doing God's work here. It's just kind of a fun little side project for me. I know when I put more time and work into something serious, like I do some like pretty serious modding projects or like videos that are more, people are more responsive to and people seem to like more. Like I know if I spend my time on that, it may be more of a worthy use of my time, maybe. But like I don't, at the same time, like I don't really care. Like it's more, the interviews are just kind of like a whatever fun kind of thing.
Gotcha.
At the same time, like I said, it's been amazing that people I've been talking to, say, Artosis or one of the Blizzard employees, like one of the community managers, said they come on and getting people like that who I don't know and are, would have some really cool insider info, like the Blizzard guy or Artos. It's amazing that the people in the community are so approachable, right? Like it's
Yeah,
actually
definitely. Yeah, that was
I've
something that
had
I
no
was really surprised with.
issues with. There's been not one person I've had any issue. No one's ever like ghosted me. No one ever didn't get back to me. Everyone I ever hit up eventually responded and was very polite and everything. So we really got a mature, I think, crowd, and it's a blessing, really.
Can't say I haven't been ghosted or anything like that, but that's kind of just part of life, I guess. I think I hit up a lot of people too, but
Yeah, man. I mean, that's a fun part of it too, because you just hit people up and you're like, hey, you want to talk to me for a while, and even if it's like we don't talk at all, but you want to sit down and chat for like 2 hours or something. It's always fun.
Yeah, and you're totally right. Like the StarCraft scene is very, very accessible overall, and I think that's something that we're really, really lucky for. I think that makes, I mean, my job, your job, like way easier.
Oh, for sure.
You talked about your modding stuff though, and that's something that is really interesting. How did you work your way? I assume the UMS stuff from back in Brood War, but how did you work in your way with modding in StarCraft 2? How did that start?
Well, to be honest, when I first opened up the editor and everything, it really scared me away just with the way it looks and how hard it is to kind of do stuff that you were more familiar with in the Brood War editor.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really dive in until years after playing a ton of the RTS and just playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I really actually regret not getting into it earlier, because I think I would have been able to put out content earlier that was cool and there would have been more people around, right? But everyone, I feel like a lot of people were like, oh yeah, sure, I wish I did more earlier in my life, whatever. But the editor is very fucking scary, I think, for anybody who opens it and tries to do something basic. Like it's pretty nasty looking just because it's complicated and there's no help. There's not really a lot of documentation there. I mean, there's a lot of community stuff now. It's been 8 years of the game being out now, and there is a pretty strong community, I think, for the map editor, for if you want to go learn. The SC2 Mapster guys specifically, shout out to them. So if you want to go check out the editor stuff, go there, the Discord server and everything. But it's pretty steep compared to Brood War. It was a lot easier, especially being younger, being a kid who could not grasp this stuff nowadays. But anyways, I don't know, man. It's always fun. It's so much fun. Have you ever tried messing with the units and making a stalker shoot like a rapid machine gun, or like like some of the silly, like how it looks, how it feels, where the stupid, like it can be funny, right? It can be fun and enjoyable.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love the videos and stuff like that. I love the GIFs.
Yeah, so I think it's a ton of fun. The editor, it's almost like you're getting into game design stuff. Like it's how they made the game, right? It's the same tools they use to make the game. And like I said, I used to really like making little mini games or maps in the Brood War editor. So game design itself has always been a little appealing to me. I have made like sort of a shitty, I made it in like a couple hours one night, never touched it again. But like there's an Oracle micro trainer map or something. And I am working on more serious projects now, like another micro trainer, and I'm pretty excited with stuff that it's done so far. But I like making games for people to play has always been, like, since I was young, like 13 years old, it's always been something I liked and wanted to do.
So like, man, I know that there's some crazy stuff that you can do with that editor in terms of making games. Like
it's insane. And I want to say for sure, I'm that good, dude. I'm not that amazing. There are people, you should see the shit people are making, man.
Like, I dare not even imagine. I mean, like, I know,
I like not to discredit myself too much. I think I have one or two interesting things, but there have been stuff that's really blown my mind. So
I really like, my favorite example of the StarCraft arcade to show people. There's like, Star Wars Battlefront. Somebody made like StarCraft Battlefront within the arcade, and it's a third-person shooter with vehicle mechanics and hero abilities and everything, and it's like, wow, this is the same RTS that I was just playing, and I bet that's not even like one of the more difficult things you can do. There's so much that you can do with that editor. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, like I said, nothing is that easy in the editor, but at the same time, it's not too hard.
I wonder, like, does the difficulty of using the editor grant you more tools to enable people to do stuff like that?
What do you mean? Can you phrase that again a little
Like
bit differently?
higher skill cap for the editor means for more diverse product or projects.
Yeah, so like with more complexity means more power, right? It's more
Right.
powerful. It
There
can
you
do
go.
more shit. That's why it's so complicated. Obviously, yeah, that's clear, and it's thrown in your face like very, very bluntly when you open up the editor. That being said, it's almost like I'm almost grateful in a sense that there aren't a ton of people trying to push out StarCraft content that are using the editor and like modding and stuff. So it almost gives me a little bit of a leg up or like a way to differentiate myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of to my benefit that I like to fuck with this stuff more than your average guy. I think like some of the esports guys, like I don't know, Pig or Maynard or the casters, right? They're doing their thing, their content, but they're not going to dive in the editor like me. I could stand out that way. Yeah, but I can make stuff that everyone is going to think is cool. You know, like the esports people might think is cool, but you'd have to use the editor to make it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the how it looks versus how it feels stuff, and I mean, I scroll like all the way back.
Those are funny little jokes, yeah. But I have some serious stuff too coming.
Yeah, definitely.
I have some stuff I'm working on, and I have like some stuff that's already out too.
Well, you were on the Axiom project, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I did. So that I honestly like. I should probably have my name not on their website and everything because I did help and I did put on, I don't know, a couple of hours, but it was a huge ass project. Mm-hmm. I have to really underline it was a really big project and a much like 99% of the work was done by not me. It was done by Daniel Altman, a pirate who I just had actually an interview with. If you don't know who he is, he's the developer of ArcStar, which is one of the paid arcade maps. And like this guy is so good at making modding stuff, you know.
He's really nice too.
So
really
yeah,
nice
Daniel's such a good guy. So when I linked up with him and I linked up with the guy who did the Carbot mod, of course, another good editor. He did the Carbot mod, another big project. So I was working with these guys and they're so good. And I'm like a little bit I don't have this kind of experience. So I really just let them do everything. And they did. I did some, like I said, I got everyone together. I was the first one talking to TV about the project. I don't remember how that happened. I think Base Trade referred him to me. But I got everyone together and I put in a little bit of time on the project in the editor. But honestly, that was not my work.
I mean,
we could talk about another.
Yeah. I was. You also did the. I don't know what the official name on it or whatever it would be, but the big view mod.
The camera mod.
The camera mod is super cool.
So that thing, I think is like it's like this thing I've just been working on for so long, and I think it has a lot of potential to really impact the esports people.
Absolutely.
Because it could bring another way to just observe the game, right?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I've shown it to the Blizzard staff, and they've thought it. They told me, you know, they came up after me after the meeting and told me they thought it was cool and stuff like that. So I'm hopeful that I can make a something with the camera that makes its way into a tournament setting.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had Funka and Mapu, like I've had all these observers be like, dude, this shit is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, right? just thinking about it right now, like I really need to put more time into it. I just moved into my own place, I don't know, earlier this year, so it's been a lot of like getting my shit together and organizing my time better and everything. So I have so many projects.
Can you like give a hint on anything? Like, do you want to?
I mean, I could go on and on. Like, I really could just go on and on about it. Like, so the camera thing is one. I'm making a little micro trainer. One. Did you ever play the StarCraft Master arcade game?
No.
Did you? That's just you don't.
I totally
recall anything about that. It's a complete blank for you.
I'm not a good arcade person to talk to.
No, it's okay, but it was a really popular. It was on Reddit and everything a lot, and all the pros are playing it on Twitch and everything. This was back in like maybe more like 2010 or 2011, but Blizzard put out.
Would have been before my
It was
time.
a Blizzard official map in the arcade, and it was meant to train you on micro stuff, but it's Wings of Liberty, and it's kind of old, and a lot of the challenges are not as they could be more. So I've been working on one. And with one of the guys who did one of the latter maps. The guy who made Coda and the guy who made Backwater, I think, Isaiah. So I'm working with someone who's really good at making terrain. He's sending me screenshots. They look really good. I've made some UI stuff that I think I shared on Twitter or something. And like, I'm really excited about it because I think there's some really cool stuff you could do with micro trainer stuff. For example, I'll give you some more details. Like, in DDR, like if you land your steps at the right time, it says like good, bad, excellent, perfect. So
hell yeah.
What if you were stutter stepping your Marines or something and it's telling you how close you are to like good stutter stepping, right? Like you're nailing the timing or you're shit at it. So that's one thing that's going to be in the map. Just shit like that. Or I posted like a UI example where you have a bunch of sentries selected and it tells you the health of all your units selected and how many force fields they have. Like you have 10 force fields with your 10 sentries that you have boxed or whatever. So I'm just like trying to put all this together into one big, really impressive map that really gets people to actually play it more than just like a passing phase. Because there are very few maps that stick around. And this particular thing, I think I'm really hopeful for. The camera mod, I've always kind of think is really helpful. I think I just need to like publish it more and put out a video for it or something, maybe promote it a bit better because the camera thing's already out. I'm working on the other thing is not the micro trainer map. And then there's some other stuff. I put out a video that shows some of my modding projects, but there's like it's almost like a map editor in the game. So you can like place units and edit their weapon stats, like how fast they shoot or what weapons the units are holding. You can edit all this in the game. So that's like almost like a unit tester thing. And it was for a base trade specific tournament, like event. They asked me to make it and paid me a little bit, but I think that's one of the coolest things I ever did. And I think has a ton of potential as a way for people who don't want to dive in the map editor to jump in and learn how the game engine works a little bit more with the weapons or whatever, what have you. You can play with all these unused upgrades. For example, a bunch of the unused upgrades are in there. I don't know. I've also made a like race car map, like like a Mario Kart, right? Like I want to make a Mario Kart style map. Avex, the guy who makes really good terrain. He sent me a little bit of like a racetrack thing a long time ago, and I want to get someone who's good at terrain to help me with sort of like a race track map. Because like we were talking about earlier, it's not too crazy to get a third person sort of view going. There's plenty of maps like that on the arcade already. I don't know, man. Like, there's so much I want to put out, but like I said, I kind of have an issue where I don't focus on one thing and I'm doing too many things at once. So like if I think about what the last time I really polish up and release a mod, it's probably been a good amount of time. I sometimes the last things I can think of I put out are all kind of videos, and the modding projects are sort of like I just keep them in the oven forever and really just babysit them for a long time.
Yeah, maybe that's to its benefit in its own little way. It gives you
maybe,
a lot of time
but
to
I'm
flesh
really
out your
like
head,
I said,
right?
like I said, I am really hopeful and excited about a lot of these things. That's like why I could talk about it for so long.
Yeah.
I really think that I have some cool stuff coming.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, well, like the camera one in particular to me is very reminiscent of Game Heart when Game Heart first hit. Like Game Heart just basically revolutionized everything because it
it took over
so
the observer interface. Yeah, and then Blizzard hired him like right after that. So
yeah, and I mean like just the concept of that kind of thing, like a community member has a project that they want to do to make the game better to look at and to spectate, or as an esport or anything like that, and then they're able to go do it in the editor, put it out there for people to use, and then the scene could run with it if they want. Like that is so cool, and I feel like that's very unique to StarCraft.
Oh, definitely. Dota 2 has an editor, I think, too, but I don't know if it's used like that. I know they've made some pretty slick movies, but Yeah, man. It's such an unused resource, I think, for every content creator. That's part of the reason I made the camera mod too. Is like it has an almost like you can queue up camera locations and sort of make them play through it like a little movie maker kind of deal.
Oh, very cool.
So I made that for like content creators, especially to try and make unique shit, right? Because they don't know how to mess with the camera and the editor, but there's a mod that does it all for you. And you
that's
can
very
make like
cool.
these really So like that's another thing. I don't know. Like I said, it's such an unused. I think it's underutilized.
You also pitched something, or kind of pitched it, I guess. I don't know. You put it on display as a pitch a while ago, like maybe a number of years ago. That they're tinkering with now, which is the countdown before the game type concept.
I guess. I mean,
I'm gonna give it to you. I'm giving it to you.
I showed up in the thread and I was like, hey guys, I kind of did this, but at the same time, my post was a little different. I was thinking like the first time you jump into a map, it plays a video, but it would be great, right, if we had something in between the loading screen,
yeah.
right, and you having to make shit and like box your CC and make that SCV and all that stuff. That would be kind of nice. I'm almost certain they're gonna put something in now because it does make sense, makes perfect sense. And
absolutely. I mean, it's on testing, so.
Right. Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, that's why I'm so sure, because they said they're gonna do it. Yeah, so that's cool. Blizzard's really responsive, I think, to good ideas like that. So we are pretty blessed in the sense that Blizzard. I also got to shout out Blizzard. Like Blizzard's been amazing to me in particular. They've even contracted me out to work for them, and they pay me to do a little bit of videos or here and there and whatever. Or in general, their staff are just very kind to me, and they really have treated me well. So I can't be more grateful to just Blizzard staff and Blizzard themselves for really treating me well and being so good to me. That's a huge motivator, though. Like to have the company itself reach out to you and work with you and be so cool and be so generous and amazing, like doesn't get much more motivating than that, right? Why would I not want to keep, why would I not want to
keep
stick with these
rolling.
people? Or just so I can't really say enough how cool Blizzard is with the community. Some people give them shit, like Blizzard, people can be really rude and be like, oh, Blizzard doesn't listen. I'm like, man, you don't even know how much, you have no idea how much they really do listen and care and all this.
Really, I don't know, man. Does that I don't feel like that's a thing anymore. I feel like the opinion is very much.
It depends what game you're reading.
Oh well, yeah, okay. I'm only talking StarCraft. Like in StarCraft.
I know. But in general.
Oh, dude, you totally cut out. In general, what?
Just in general, people can be kind of ignorant, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the StarCraft community is in such a good place right now.
Right now, it's better than it's been in quite a while, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, like pretty much everything. I mean, like the scene is growing. The esports scene is great with great games and great storylines, and I don't know. We're not negative shitters like maybe we were in 2014. I think a lot of those people
left. Yeah. A lot of people left, or they just like got over it.
Yeah, it's great.
But there was a ton of like pain and like sadness or whatever, or anger associated with SC2 falling off the the number one most viewed esport or whatever, like king of the. But I don't know. It's only natural, and like I think it's like I said earlier, it's almost like a tired like meme at this point. Like everyone knows, or it's been talked about over and over and over. Like it's old news, right? It's definitely old fucking news. Yeah.
It's
and SC2 is still such an amazing place, relatively speaking, right? Like think about how many fucking go look at Twitch of games. Listen, just scroll down. There's a long list of games people are watching or playing or whatever, and not even just like Twitch, just in general. There's so much to play. So many people still play StarCraft. Such a solid player base, and like people have been posting about how the numbers are continuing to grow with free to play and everything. So I have no issues or concerns about there being any an audience or just like a strong community for the game, or for me to post shit about the game, right? That's never been a problem for me or a concern of mine.
I did notice the other day, I think you tweeted about getting like your first ever donation.
Oh yeah, I think I've done a really bad job of like marketing myself, trying to get money really. I've had some. I've had not to say I haven't gotten good opportunities and jobs. I've gotten a lot of that I think too. But at the same time, I don't really go. I don't really make someone push me into making a Patreon. I don't really post it ever anywhere. I don't really ask for donations, except maybe every now and then I might be guilty of like hinting at it, but I'm not really. I don't. I don't know. It almost makes me uncomfortable to do it. I don't know why.
Oh yeah.
Because it's pretty fucking normal thing, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But I don't know, man. So but sometimes like I'll be perfectly honest, like I get upset with myself, or I might even like get envious of people who just show up, like, or like new people come in and I'm just like, dude, this person is doing great.
Mm-hmm.
And I could have, they're kind of newer, right? I could have done
Mm-hmm.
this. And,
Yeah.
and if they could do it in such little time, like what am I doing wrong or something? Or like why am I not focusing more on getting paid? But again, it's not really been ever about getting money though.
Right.
I just have fun. I like more the reaction from people, or to get like a lot of views is more fun to me than any amount of money. I don't know. That's not to say getting paid isn't great, and like sometimes like I just said, I get angry at myself, but especially as like I said, this year I moved into my own apartment and I have way more bills and shit, so I'm like, dude, fuck, I could have capitalized more, or I feel like, you know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm just cocky and arrogant. There's that too, like but I don't know. I think especially when I did tweet that, people threw more, like I got more donations. So I feel like yeah, I feel like I could do better. Maybe I will do better. But I don't know. In general, I think we have an extremely. It's not something I think. It's a fact that StarCraft has an extremely supportive and like financially, everyone is donating, contributing. We have way more people who contribute monetarily to the scene than other games, right? Like Fortnite billion fucking players, but they're all kids and they're not going to pay for whatever, right?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's something people say a lot, but I don't think I've ever seen any evidence supporting that. Like, not to say,
right?
Oh man, all the StarCraft fans are such ingrates. Like,
I can't give you any numbers. I don't have a graph for you or like a source.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I feel like it's probably, you know, like
we have an older
1%
audience,
for Fortnite,
right? Like
and
that's
1% for StarCraft. Like, I don't really know. Yeah, I don't know if I fall in line with that. I don't know. It's fine. Like, it's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I respect you being skeptical and everything, but I can believe it. I don't know if you know, like I agree with you. You don't really fucking know, do you?
Yeah.
But I can believe it if it is true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've never been a part of another scene, so I guess grass is always greener in a way, or something like that. Some to that effect. Yeah. It's interesting to think about, though. It's such a common thing to say about StarCraft.
No, man, I've had opportunities to make content in other games, and I do have a couple of Hearthstone videos on my channel or non-StarCraft videos on my channel. It doesn't interest me at all. If I don't like the game or I don't love the scene and community and everything, I'm not checking all the Reddit posts. I'm not involved in the community. I have no desire to go and like, I can't be like paid off to go make shit for them. I just can't. Like I won't be able to make anything good. I won't be good.
Yeah.
I won't want to do it. Like it's not gonna work. I have to love it. I have to love what I'm doing. So I think it's extra special. You know, that the StarCraft shit is all extra special to me.
I think that's very cool indeed. I mean, it's cool too that you've kept it as a part. That's something I don't know if I'm envious of for a lot of people, but it seems like so much of StarCraft 2 and the content creators and the streamers and the casters and everybody, they've had StarCraft with them for their whole life, like right from when they were children with Brood War all the way up through.
It just goes back. Like the game's old. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
Some people picked it up later. Some people, I mean, that doesn't, just because you've been around longer doesn't mean you can't like it just as much as someone else.
Definitely. Yeah. It's just very cool. It's just cool to have that kind of a history with the thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. I have like very vivid memories from playing back then and all my old friends. I have some people on Discord I keep in touch with from when I was 13, 12 years old. Really? Yeah, and we'll chat and they're all fucking like, some of them have really good jobs and they're adults. It's cool to see everyone is grown up. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Really cool.
Definitely empathize with that. So, what's like the future look like for you? We're not really
I
at the
don't
end
know,
of
man.
2018, but we're nearing it. So like, what do you think the 2019 year will look like for you with StarCraft?
I don't know, man. I don't. I want to keep, like I said, or like I kept rambling on. I felt like about it. Like I have so many projects I want to put out, and I think some of them are truly, um, unique and good and interesting and cool and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about some of the stuff I'm working on. I think some of the stuff I've already made is pretty good, and maybe
Definitely
not enough people. Maybe I haven't done a good enough job of promoting it or polishing it or getting it out there enough. And like I don't know, man. I have no, like I don't see myself slowing down. I only see myself getting more and more into it because it's just works. Like people are like, I'm so grateful, right? Like Reddit's so good to me. The internet is so good to me, right? Like I'm so grateful that there is this audience that is receptive to. It's not like I'm crazy fucking big or anything. Like I don't have a big following at all, and I know I recognize that. Like, relatively speaking, I'm very small kind of size thing going on, but it's enough for me to be motivated to continue doing it and feel like I have people there. So if I can feel that way, that's enough for me.
Cool. I think that's pretty respectable. Will you keep doing the interviews?
Probably, like I said, I don't see it slowing down anytime either because
Nice.
there's just so many interesting people that it would
Yes.
be cool to see like what their deal is. I've been a little more. I used to be pretty good about every single week, every Friday, blah blah blah, and now it's like every week and a half, But in general, I think I've been pretty good about doing that, and I don't see that stopping. I still have. I'm talking to a bunch of people about doing it, so
nice. That's great.
Exciting stuff. It's
Yeah,
fun. Like I said, like this is pretty fun, right? It's fun just to kind of hang out and chat about things we enjoy because we both like StarCraft and we like the people in it, so it's fun to talk about them.
It's really hard to stay consistent though, especially when you put in a lot of work for like.
I guess I don't really think like I don't think I'm very consistent, but at the same time, I don't think it's hard to be.
I think it is.
I'm pretty. Why though? Why? What's your problem with it?
I have a lot of time tied up in like the editing of it and the excuse me, the research of it. Like for me to do an interview, it's like a 3-day affair that I need to like book. Like okay, on day 1 and day 3, I do nothing but this, and it's really hard. Yeah, because I mean, I can't do anything on my computer when I'm rendering a video. Hopefully that'll change. 'Cause I'm gonna get a new computer now, so that might not be a thing in the future. And then I can't really do anything on the day that I'm doing my research because I just put so much time into it. So yeah,
3. That's a lot. That's cool. I think I respect that you put so much effort into preparation and everything. Because I don't know, just for me, I only do like maybe an hour or 2 before the interview. I'll write down all the questions and stuff.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I like.
I don't know. I'm not trying to be too hard on you, but
I don't think
I feel like I don't think it's hard. I think there's so much to talk about. I think there's so much to make yet. Like I said, there's so much unused potential in the game and everything, and in the community. I think there's a lot of things we could enjoy yet still.
Definitely, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, yeah, for sure. That's part of it too, right? Like I want to. When I do an interview with like a Tosis or something, or a Zombie Grub or somebody who's been around for a while, I want to go back and watch all their interviews to make sure that I'm not stepping on something that's already been talked about. And if I really want to talk about it, I can reference that answer they gave back when. And yeah, I don't know, it's whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the way I do it, and it makes it tough. It also for me too.
Keep it up, man. Just keep it up. I think what you're doing is very cool. So
well, thanks, man. This series makes it a lot easier because it's kind of more of a jump in and go type thing rather than a bunch of heavy editing and a bunch of heavy research. You know what I mean? Like much more chill, streamed. Put it up on YouTube, easy peasy. Yeah, I do find though that the viewership sometimes can be very demotivating as well. Like
really?
I think that the interviews are a perfect example of having a piece that you're like, oh, I think this is really good, and then it gets like a mediocre kind of reception, or you'll put out
I never expected.
Like,
I know that the way it works, man. Like people are gonna love those memes and shit way more. They're gonna love the funny shit. They're not gonna you're gonna get, it's just like statistics at that point. Like you're only gonna get
sure.
so many people. Only so many people want the long ass video. Only
I
a
feel
lot more.
though, even in the portion of people, like let's say that there's like 1,000 people that love the long form interview stuff, right?
Yeah.
Even accessing those people, it seems really finicky. Like sometimes I'll put something out and I'll feel really good about it. I'll feel like, oh, man, this is such a good interview, and it'll get nowhere near what I think it'll get. You know?
Well, I don't know. I'm no like professional. I'm not an expert, but I don't know. I
Do
feel
you
like I
find
have.
that?
I don't know. Well, the thing is, I don't know. I don't have really high expectations for viewership when I do the long interviews myself.
But what do you mean when you
I'm
say
happy.
that, though? Like, what
I'm
kind of
happy
numbers?
Well, all the I've only got like a bit under 1,000 views for like as the best viewership on some of the interviews I'm doing.
Yeah.
Whereas if I make a fucking meme video about Artosis getting mad at the ladder, right? It's like 15,000 views, right? Like much more better use of my time, much better response in general. It's better for my like channel. But like I don't know like I don't expect, I was never expecting these interviews to fucking blow up ever. It's just a fun little side thing. I put it out, like I said, like I put out the funny videos because I like to make myself laugh, and I think it's funny without giving a shit about anyone else, right? Like I think it's funny, period. And then like it's great that I can share with everyone. The interview is kind of the same thing. Like I love talking to these people, and it's great just to chat with these people because I think they're so cool or I think they're interesting. But I just so happen, to want to share it with everyone else too. But I would love to chat with them on or off camera, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Sure, yeah, definitely. Can pick up what you're putting down. Yeah. So, for all of your projects that you've done through the history of StarCraft 2, what would be the one, like if you had to take one and leave it as your legacy, what would be your one video or mod or anything like that you would want to leave in the world?
That's tough, man. It's hard to say. I think the one that I'll end up getting the best reception or actually having the most impact, like practically speaking, the camera thing, the camera mod, I need to like give it a title and really be more official about it. If you go search it up, it's published. It's called Free Camera. It's one word. So if you make a map with an extension mod and you put the Free Camera mod, you can go use it right now. I think that's the one right there that'll give me that I think I can make a real impact with that. But some of the projects that are just like in my head right now or that I'm currently working on but they're not done, I think kind of I feel similarly about them. Like it's really, like I said, it's kind of tough to call because I really feel like a few of my projects are pretty damn cool, or I just think the game, like doing these modding shit, is so cool, and there's so much that their potential in there, like I said.
Cool.
So it's I almost like can't give you a good answer, but if you want to go the camera,
maybe the best answer is an answer that takes place in like a year's time or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
If you've had time to roll a bunch of stuff out.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty cool to see. Maybe I'll revisit this at that point in time.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much what I had.
Cool, man.
Anything that you wanted to touch on or anything that you wanted to bring up?
I mean, it's hard to think of anything off the top of my head. Just like I want to say again, I'm really grateful for Blizzard staff being so cool to me. Really grateful for Reddit and social media and all that for sure. Just for people being so nice to me. It's very motivating. Like I said, I have gotten a few donations or whatever overall, like throughout my small little career doing this. Has been like, I don't know, 5 years now doing this. So that's a while for one. Two, I'm just grateful for everyone. So thanks. And keep watching my stupid video. Yeah.
Do you want to shout out your socials?
Yeah, sure. If you want to close it out, go follow me on Twitter /nice__ username. That's my screen name on Reddit too, and on Twitch or whatever. I don't really stream them. What else?
Your YouTube channel doesn't have like the customized URL, huh?
Yeah, they don't have. I couldn't put the underscores in. So on YouTube, Yeah, which is where I have probably the most subscribers or followers or whatever is on YouTube. YouTube.com/niceyt channel. So
Oh,
that's where you'll find me.
gotcha. Well, thanks, man. I really appreciate you coming out and talking to me. I think you're somebody who's been on my list as well for a really long time. So I'm glad
No
to
worries.
check that little box on the list.
No worries, dude. I am happy to do this. No, I'm always happy to talk about myself. And yeah, I think what you are doing good stuff. So keep it up, and hopefully I'll see you soon at some event or anything like that.